It's time for my review of the Maono PS22 audio interface. Full disclaimer, Maono sent me this audio interface well in advance of its launch for the purpose of this review. Inside the box you get the PS22, documentation, a USB-C to USB-A cable, a USB-C to USB-C cable, and a 3.5mm female to 1/4-inch male adapter. At the time of launch, the PS22 has a suggested retail price of $119.99 US. Build-wise, the PS22 has a rock-solid aluminum body, complete with sturdy knobs, nice switches that you can't accidentally engage, and plenty of connections. Specs-wise, the PS22 is a 2-in, 2-out audio interface. It operates at 24-bit 192 kHz. It has premium mic preamps that provide up to 60 dB of gain and an EIN of -127 dBV A-weighted. For reference, the Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Rodecaster Duo have EINs of 131.5 dBV A-weighted. The PS22 offers dual USB-C connectivity with pass-through charging for select mobile devices. You also get advanced routing software with 2 virtual in and 2 virtual out channels. And the PS22 requires 5-volt, 2-amp power when not connected to a PC or laptop. When it comes to the layout, on the front we have high Z buttons, combo inputs with 48 volts phantom power switches, gain knobs, LED indicators for phantom power and input signals, a stereo mono switch, headphone knob, a mix knob, 1/4-inch headphone jack, and an output knob with LED ring. On the back we have a power switch, a DC 5-volt USB-C port, power source switch, a USB-C port for PC, Mac, and laptops. Then you have a second USB-C port that has the Android and iOS icons on it, a TRRS output jack, ending with 2 1/4-inch monitor output jacks. When it comes to driving high impedance headphones, the PS22 is able to push my 600 ohm COS Pro 4As easily. But how will it stack up when we take the Rode NT1 Signature Series off the boom and put on the Shure SM7B? I'm back on the Shure SM7B, and here's how it sounds. It's easily able to drive the Shure SM7B, and I'm not completely maxed out. Out of 10, I would say I'm at 8 or 9 out of 10. Now, what I've noticed with this interface and with every interface there is in existence that I've ever used anyway, is that if you go from 9.5 to 10, it does get a lot noisier on the preamp. But that's any interface I've ever used. The Shure SM7B is definitely a gain-hungry microphone, and the PS22 is able to drive it to a sufficient rate, and if I turned it up more, I could clip the microphone. As you can hear, I have some background music going, and that is just to show you that the routing software that comes with the PS22 is capable of looping back sounds from your computer into your mix. And this is what it sounds like. So now I'm in Adobe Audition, and I have downloaded ASIO for All. I've got that set up. On their website, they have information on which pieces of software this works with. So you can download ASIO for All and use it with Adobe Audition, Cubase, Reaper, and some other ones. But definitely check out their website for that information. But I'm just trying to show you that I have mic 1 set up. It's the Shure SM7B. Then I'm going to turn that down a little bit. I'm going to actually turn it off to prove that I have another setup. And now I'm on the Zoom ZDM1. And you can see it is now in that secondary spot there. And then if I find some YouTube music, now you can see the YouTube music in that 3rd spot. I had Skype set up on virtual channel N1, but I have turned it off. Now if I turn down the YouTube music to nothing, it's gone. If I crank it up, it's going back up again. So that's how that works. I'm going to switch back to the SM7B. Now I'm back on the SM7B. So you could have those set up as mic 1, mic 2, or instrument or what have you, and then a virtual channel, another virtual channel. If you go mono, you get more setups. But if you go stereo like I'm in, you get fewer setups, obviously, because it's linking channels. So you can set this up any way that you'd like. And then also check out their routing center. So now I can route in the form that I want. So let's say I want microphone 1 to route to the headphones out. You see how I'm doing that there? And I can make it stereo like that by clicking them both. Now I can undo those, and I'll turn down the SM7B, and I'll turn up the ZDM1. So now you've got the ZDM1, and you see how it's routing separately. I could route that separately. I go over here, and I could route the SM7B, and I'll turn that back up. Now I've got the SM7B going on the one side and the ZDM1 on the other, just like that. And you could just pick and choose how you want to route them, like such. So it'd be really beneficial when you have a setup going, we'll stop the uncanny valley. But if you had multiple things going like Discord, Skype, etc., you can clearly see how beneficial routing audio would be if you're trying to have some background music, trying to connect with somebody via Skype or Discord or something, and so on and so forth. There is a learning curve because it can get confusing at first when you first start out, which app is doing what. So you just got to keep that kind of stuff straight. But once you do, then you can set up where you want that audio to go. And I think that is absolutely phenomenal. So kudos to Maono for setting up this routing center. And you can have your various setups and then just click save, enter a preset name, save that, make a new preset, so on and so forth. So you can just click on them and go, okay, here's my Discord setup. Here's my live stream with Skype setup. When it comes to pros, there are a lot of them. This format for an audio interface is stellar. Lots of connections, and I couldn't be more pleased with all that flexibility. On top of that, the routing software functions as you would expect and is a really good add-on to an already great audio interface. I've frequently asked for having a power switch on an audio interface, and I'm so glad that they decided to include this on the PS22. It should be a standard on all audio interfaces, in just my opinion. Another pro is the power selection switch, where you can use it bus powered with a computer, laptop, etc., or you can use a power bank. The added portability is a huge win. Another huge win is, you're looking at it right now, powering the Shure SM7B without issue. Having the mono or stereo output switch on there was something I don't recall ever seeing on another audio interface. You can correct me in the comments if you've seen that before. But in my opinion, it's just another add-on, another added bonus to this audio interface. Another pro is the primary USB-C connection being 24-bit, 192 kilohertz. While it's nothing new, I do appreciate the lighting cues. So having the gain go from green to yellow to red, plus having the 48 volts phantom power lights light up, you always know where you stand on this device. What I didn't think would be a big deal turned out to be a really big deal for me, and that's the mix knob. In recent years, what's really stood out to me is having a mix knob on an audio interface, and this is no different on the PS22. It's just another added bonus that really sets this apart from a lot of other audio interfaces in its class. And one more major pro for me is having the TRRS, having the total mix be able to come out of that output allowed me to plug it into my cell phone. You could plug it into a camera. You could plug it into a video switcher. I mean, there's a lot of options that you could use that for. And one of the uses I found, since I have a secondary PC, is I can take that mix out to a streaming PC. So now it gives me even more options to output the total sound. While I could go on and on and on and on about how many things I like about the device, let's talk about some of the nitpick cons that I have. One of which would have just catapulted this into the stratosphere had they included it. And that is, I wish it had a physical mute button on the device. I wish that the gain knob, I wish you could just push it in and it would just mute that particular combo jack. Another slight nitpick is that TRRS port. I really wish that would have been a mix minus capable port. When it comes to iOS support, it says in the documentation supports iPhone 15 only. So I'm not sure why that is, but I'll try to get some clarifications around that. One of the other nitpicks that I mentioned earlier was that when you drive the gain to 10, obviously it's going to get a little bit noisy. And lastly, one I had to kind of dig to find is that second USB-C port, the one that is marked with the Android and iOS icons, even though you can use it for another computer, etc. It is 16-bit, 48 kilohertz. So as you would figure, if you're going to a phone, you're not technically going to need the highest of quality, I guess, but it's still sufficient for streaming, even to a PC. However, it would have been great had that just mirrored the other USB-C port. As I said, those are just slight nitpicks that would have just set this device into the stratosphere, in my opinion. Overall, for $119.99, this is a game-changing budget audio interface. I just love almost everything about it, and I think they did a phenomenal job. When they first approached me about this device, I kind of shrugged it off a little bit, thinking, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll see what you've come up with. And then when I got it in my hands, I felt the heft of it. I have just been very taken back by how much effort and thought went into making this device. From this stellar audio interface to their amazing boom arm that I'm on right now, and some of their microphones that I really enjoy, I have begun to look at Maono in a different light in recent months. The PS22 is a game changer in the budget audio interface category, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, thank you.